if you look back at the three overall objectives of that reform, I think what you can say is that the result is mixed. There are things that have clearly been achieved, things where I think the result falls short of the initial ambitions. The reform is strongest is with respect to strengthening the tools to enforce the rules. One of the major changes is, of course, the level of fines. Now these can be as high as 4% of global turnover for companies that infringe data protection rules, and that's a major change compared to the situation that we had before. There are other requirements, for example, with regards to data protection officers, data protection impact assessments, privacy by design and privacy by default principles. That's a major change. If you look at another objective where I think that the result is mixed, is the idea of having a single rule book that is business friendly. There you can see that policymakers clearly made an effort. There was a conscious effort to make the rules workable for business. That was mainly done through what they called the risk-based approach, where requirements imposed on companies can vary according to the level of risk associated with their data processing activities, and also efforts to make sure that the rules were usable for SMEs. On the other hand, the rules remain extremely complicated, and even if you look at, for example, the one-stop shop, that's really very, very complex. And even member states actually retain the possibility to introduce some level of flexibility in their national rules, even though this is a regulation. So I believe that in this respect the result is mixed. Where I think the reform is probably the weakest is with respect to the main objective in the beginning, which was to create new rights for individuals, to strengthen individual rights. There you see that I think what the reform proved was that it was extremely difficult to go beyond the rights that were already enshrined in the 1995 directive. I think the right to be forgotten is a case in point. This was actually quite quickly seen as impractical. There, the ambitions clearly have not entirely been met.